Hi guys, and welcome to my line in the sand. As you can tell from the title of this video, today is it's actually day 2 of no alcohol for me. Yesterday was day 1 and I wanted to let the whole day pass before I reflected on how I felt and the effect that it had on me. So what I'm attempting to do in this video series is to quit alcohol, but not just quit alcohol. I want to completely overhaul my life. I'm embarking on a new diet. I'm going to go completely paleo, no processed food, and I'm going to start a fitness routine 6 days a week, because at the moment I'm not happy with how I look, certainly not happy with how I feel, and most importantly, I'm not happy with the way alcohol is affecting my life. This is going to be really challenging because quitting alcohol by itself is difficult enough, but with the addition of all the other new habits and lifestyle changes that I'm going to make, I think this is going to be quite a challenging few weeks. So the reason why I'm doing this is I am a heavy drinker and I have been for many years. I enjoy alcohol, or at least I did do. I'm starting to realise that I don't enjoy it as much as I used to anymore. Once I start drinking, it's very, very difficult for me to stop. And just as an example, on Saturday afternoon, I consumed 22 units of alcohol just sitting in the house watching TV. Obviously Sunday morning I woke up with a hangover, and I'm now getting to that point where I realise that if I have a drink the next day, it will make me feel temporarily better and postpone the hangover until the next day. And while I try absolutely my best not to allow myself to do that, I'm finding more often than I used to that I will succumb and have another drink the following day, which I know is not a good pattern to be in. Alongside the alcohol consumption, I have other issues around fitness and healthy lifestyle, because once I indulge and binge in alcohol, I struggle greatly to eat healthily, to go to the gym, and it becomes quite a vicious circle where I will just drink for days on end, not doing any fitness routine, not eating healthily, and I've realised that this needs to stop. I've tried to quit drinking many times before, sometimes for a few weeks or months at a time, but eventually always going back to alcohol. And I do have quite a significant family history with alcohol. On my father's side, he is an alcoholic, 18 months sober, but he'll never drink again, hopefully. Pretty much all of his family members on his side were either heavy drinkers or alcoholics, so I know that I'm in a position of danger naturally, genetically, and it just feels like the right time to stop. The reason that I'm filming this and sharing this with YouTube is because I think that it will help me to hold myself accountable. It will be a reason for me not to drink. I hope it will help others as well, because I think talking about this and allowing other people to hear my experiences in some way might help them, and even if it only helps one person, then I'll be satisfied with that. There's also a real stigma around alcoholism and dependence on alcohol, and something that I have to remind myself of is that as people who drink too much, or alcohol dependent people or alcoholics, we're not actually doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong, and if you're drinking too much, then morally you're not doing anything wrong either. We live in a society where alcohol is encouraged, and particularly in the UK where I live, people people drink regularly, and some of them, most people are okay with that, and a lot of people will never have issues, or they'll never question their issues. But then some people, like myself, will realise that okay, this has gone too far, and this needs to come to a stop. I believe that alcoholism is a spectrum, or alcohol dependence is a spectrum. I think a common misconception is that you're either an alcoholic or you're not. And the mainstream view on alcoholism is, you know, it might be someone who's homeless, doesn't have a job, has absolutely hit rock bottom. But in reality, that isn't the case, in my experience at least, for most people with alcohol dependency problems. Most people start off as heavy drinkers, and they slide further and further down that spectrum every time they binge, or every time they go back to alcohol. And I've heard an analogy previously, which I will talk about more in later videos, comparing alcohol to like a nice warm ocean, which is really easy to get into, and in the beginning it's really easy to walk out of the ocean, but as time goes on it becomes more and more difficult to exit the ocean, and you can feel yourself being sucked back in. And that's what I feel, more and more, that it's increasingly difficult to to stop drinking. And again, one of the many reasons why I think that now is the time that this needs to come to an end. So yesterday was day one, and throughout the day I felt quite ill at times, not particularly happy. I had sadness throughout the day, anxiety, thinking about just doing basic things like going shopping was making me feel quite anxious. I tend to find when I'm in that sort of light withdrawal hangover phase that I like clench my teeth and my jaw aches. Food over time, so over the weekend, as well as consuming quite a lot of alcohol, a side effect of that is that all I'll eat is takeaway food, pizza, Chinese, and so normal food just tastes horrible. Healthy food is just almost, well, it's very difficult to consume, and I have no appetite. Didn't want to eat at all yesterday. Didn't feel great. On the night I was sweating throughout the entire night, waking up with my bed sheets like really wet with sweat. And I also get this pain, like this horrible pain in my stomach, which contributes to me not wanting to eat, but it just feels like almost an acidic feeling inside my stomach. And then on top of that, more long term, I've noticed that my skin has not been my skin's not been healthy at all. I can feel myself drifting out of fitness. My chest sometimes feels quite tight, and that's often a concern. I checked my blood pressure yesterday, and it was 145/93, which is high, especially considering my age. My resting heart rate was 71, which is elevated quite highly from where it should be and where it usually is. And generally, I just didn't feel great. Usually, I would strongly consider having a drink to make myself feel better, but I didn't. I managed to not do that and stay sober throughout the day. And today's day two. It's around 9 AM in the UK. And I don't feel a whole lot better. I still feel pretty much the same, albeit a little bit milder symptoms. But today, because I started on my new diet, I got up and I cooked mushrooms, tomatoes, onions, and eggs. And eating that was so difficult. I managed to eat it, but it was just not appealing at all. It tasted awful because I've got that, my mouth's used to that sort of fast food, salty flavour, and I think it's going to take me a few days to get into the diet. And later on today, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do my first session of a new fitness program. So I'm going to try and start to lose some body fat. These pictures show my current condition. I think some people would say that I don't look too bad, but the fat around my stomach is definitely brought on by alcohol. I've been in much better shape in the past, and that's something that I want to get back. But more importantly, I want to get my fitness back. I want to be able to run 25-minute 5 kilometers and not feel out of breath when I'm walking upstairs. So this is going to be a big, difficult journey, and as I said before, I hope that this helps me, and I hope that it helps other people. There's going to be some challenges that I will have to face. I've got a stag party coming up in 2 weeks' time, and because I am the sort of person that people expect to drink and people expect to have a good time, it's going to be really difficult not to drink. We then have a wedding in August, which there's going to be difficulties there. And historically, those would be two reasons why I would think, well, there's no way I can quit drinking now. I would always have a reason to carry on and not to quit. But I know that this is the time now that I need to stop, because it's getting more and more challenging to cut down and not drink alcohol. And I don't want to be slipping into the same trap as other family members who sadly struggled with alcohol even more than I have. So if you'd like to follow my journey, please subscribe, please comment if there's anything you'd like me to talk about or anything that you'd like me to focus on. I think this is a huge topic, and as well as doing like daily videos, I'm going to be talking about specifics around alcohol, the stigma of heavy drinking, and the difficulties and the challenges behind cutting down. So thank you for watching. I hope that we can go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.